The International Atomic Energy Agency now has a new chief. Since Dr. Mohammed el Baradai resigned, the new chief, of course a Japanese, who has now started to sing the same tune that the Americans have given him to try to target the Islamic Republic of Iran. Now, Iran has been under attack by the US using the United Nations Security Council as well as the International Atomic Energy Agency as well as a number of other organizations to try to target Iran to force it to abandon its legitimate rights under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. Under that treaty that Iran has signed and it has ratified, Iran is entitled to enrich uranium for peaceful nuclear purposes, that means for generating electricity, as well as the NPT requires other member states to help Iran in enriching uranium and to use it for energy purposes. Now the West, led by the United States and the Zionist state of Israel, accuse Iran of enriching uranium in order to make nuclear weapons. No evidence whatsoever has been found, and in fact in December of 2007, the American National Intelligence Estimate also said that Iran had abandoned its military nuclear program as far back as October of 2003, but that is something that the Americans do not wish to take into consideration. So a new round of targeted campaign and aggression and misinformation and disinformation is being spread against Iran's peaceful nuclear program. And we see that the International Atomic Energy Agency has once again been activated with its new head so that Iran would be put under pressure. But as Iran's President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad announced on February the 11th during the celebrations of the 31st anniversary of the Islamic Revolution, he said that Iran is now capable of enriching uranium to 20% and it can go on to do so until 80% if it wants, but Iran is not in the process of making a bomb and therefore Iran will not do it because Iran does not believe in nuclear weapons. But he also pointed out that if Iran wanted to make a bomb, then there is no power on earth that can stop Iran from doing so, and that Iran would openly declare that it is making a bomb. It is not afraid of anybody, but it is not interested in making a bomb. It is also interesting to note that in the Middle East, there is only one state that has nuclear weapons, and that is the Zionist state of Israel. And yet, any time the name of the Zionist state of Israel and its nuclear weapons is raised, the Americans immediately rush to its defense and they deny that Israel is involved. In fact, Barack Obama, in his first press conference when he was sworn in as president, he was asked in the White House by that famous American journalist, Helen Thomas, Mr. President, could you name the country in the Middle East that has nuclear weapons? And Obama simply refused to answer the question by saying, well, I do not wish to indulge in speculation. Now, he did not and could not have the courage and muster the courage to name Israel as the party or the country that has nuclear weapons, but Obama indulges in plenty of speculation when it comes to Iran and claimed that Iran is making nuclear weapons when its leadership has repeatedly stressed that they are not in the business of making nuclear weapons, they do not believe in nuclear weapons, and they do not intend to make nuclear weapons. And this has also been stated by none other than the Rahbar himself, the highest authority in Iran, that Iran does not wish to make nuclear weapons. But as far as the Americans are concerned, what they really want to do is to deprive Iran of its legitimate rights so that they can bring Iran to its knees. Now, the reason why Iran is not willing to go along with the proposals that the West has made, which is that Iran should hand over its low-grade uranium to the West, and once it is enriched to 20%, then Iran would get it back. Iran does not trust the West because the West, particularly the United States, has violated its agreements on numerous occasions with Iran. One example would suffice. Iran has a very long-standing agreement with Boeing Corporation that makes aircrafts, that Boeing is supposed to provide spare parts for Iran's fleet of Boeing aircraft. And yet, since 1980, Iran has been placed under an embargo, and the United States government refuses to provide even spare parts to Iran's civilian airlines so that those airlines and planes could be maintained in working condition. So Iran is forced to buy spare parts for its civilian airliner by buying these weapons on the black market, and some of them are also defective, thereby causing serious hazard to the passengers that fly on Iran Air flights. So we can see that if the Americans would not even honor their obligations in the civilian aviation area, how can Iran trust the Americans or the West in a sensitive area like nuclear reactors? Now suppose Iran were to make 10 nuclear reactors at the cost of billions of dollars, and then the West stops the supply of fuel to Iran. Iran's billions of dollars of investments would go to waste because these nuclear reactors would not be able to operate or function because the fuel to operate them would not be available. So it is these kinds of games that the West and the Americans are playing, and they are using not only the International Atomic Energy Agency, but they are also using the UN Security Council to put pressure on Iran. And to their credit, the leadership in Iran has stood firm so far, and they have not surrendered to American bullying tactics. And we hope and pray that Iran is able to withstand this pressure, and that other people of goodwill, are able to expose the machinations, the disinformation, and the misinformation that is beamed day in and day out from the Western governments as well as their media against the Islamic Republic of Iran.